Was the Apostle Paul the original Antichrist? Former minister and Bible college graduate Jeffrey Daugherty raises this and other staggering questions from the New Testament itself. The Christian Whistleblower asks if Jesus' original message has been warped into a fear and guilt-based control matrix. Here's Ali with more.
Thanks, Seb. Daugherty's 35 years of research challenge everyone to consider new perspectives and ask themselves, just what lies behind my religion? Are we born with original sin or the spark of divinity within?
Deep questions, Ali. Thanks. The Christian Whistleblower. We'll be watching.
Well, I hope you'll be watching. I do. I hope you'll be watching, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to see you all. Great to have you with us tonight. We're looking forward to a great show tonight. Of course, we look forward to a great show every night, but tonight especially. I know you're going to ask me about the glasses. I'm testing some new technology. As soon as I get a full handle on technology, I'll let you know what's going on. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. We are coming to you live from the Heartland, and we come to you every night, every weeknight from 10 p.m. Central until midnight, folks. And this show is where you make the calls and you call in anytime you want, but wait until we open the lines because I have some things that I want to share with you first. It's been a great and an amazing first month to 6 weeks or so with the show, and I think it's going to be even more amazing as we go. You know that we're on Brighteon, Parler, BitChute, and others that I'm forgetting about. And you know that you can find us on all of your podcast outlets as well. And of course, we're on the great WBCQ, and we're broadcasting across the world in, ladies and gentlemen, shortwave. And if you are watching by shortwave, let us know. Drop me a note. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, hit the contact button, and let us know that you're watching. We're also on Twitter. If they didn't have us blocked on Facebook, we'd be on there, but that's another story. So if you ever get to the place where you can't find me, you ever get to the place where you feel lost without your Christian Whistleblower, well, you can always go to jeffreydaugherty.com, and I'll always be right here ready to assist you and ready to help do everything I can to help you unindoctrinate yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, optimization is a daily choice. That's why I've partnered with My Daily Choice. Great CBD products, great vitamins products, great essential oils, and a great travel option as well. You'll be a better person if you travel more. And right now, I just want to make you aware that there is a flash sale on 3 products that I use and that are amazing products. And you can save a really good amount there. You can save 60% off. It's the Renew that you put on a daily basis on your face, the Relief, which is the best pain relief cream I've ever used, and the Revive, which you use twice a week. They're great products. I know you use these type of products anyway. I hope that you'll use them through me to help me fund this message of unindoctrination. And speaking of this message of unindoctrination, we've got some power-packed stuff tonight for you. Some very power-packed stuff tonight for you. And I always let you know what's coming. Late Night in the Heartland tonight. The Watchers, ladies and gentlemen. I know that's some of your favorite hobby horse. I know that's some of the most beloved doctrine within the conspiratorium. But tonight, folks, we're going to show you that the Watchers have been exposed, that the Watchers are a Christian myth, which is, in fact, a commie control tactic and is part of the great Trojan horse inside the United States of America. We had a great show last night showing the communist attack on the USA with Christianity as a Trojan horse. I guess you could call this part 2 tonight, and it is going to be powerful. So what do you say? Without any further ado, we go ahead and start talking about this great subject, this amazing subject, and a subject that I don't mean to intentionally make you mad, but if I have to make you mad to allow you to get some objective thinking, I'm willing to do it. The Watchers. Folks, I'm afraid to tell you, you're being played. And I'm about to expose one of the most popular Christian myths as a communist control tactic. So let's go ahead and get this party started. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff, I hear already. I still hear, Jeff, you don't know what you're talking about. I hear that a lot. Jeff, you don't know what you're talking about. The Watchers are in the Bible. Well, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is they are in the Bible, but the bad news is that you probably won't like the reference that they're in the Bible for. In fact, there's only one direct reference in the entire Bible to the Watchers. The one direct reference in the Bible to the Watchers is found in Daniel chapter 4, number 13 verse. And let me read it to you. I saw in the visions of my head while I laid my manly beard upon my bed. It doesn't say that, but look at this guy's beard. I saw the visions of my head while on my bed, and there was a watcher. There was a holy one coming down from heaven. Daniel chapter 4, verse 13. Well, Jeff, what's so bad about that? Well, the guy having the dream was not Daniel. The guy having the dream was Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar was a pagan king. Nebuchadnezzar did not worship the Bible God. Nebuchadnezzar did not follow the Bible God. And Nebuchadnezzar wound up tossing some of the boys in an oven. Remember that? Not a good guy. So you've built a doctrine. You've built a industry, some of you, on this idea of the Watchers, and the sole instance of its mention within the Bible is mentioned by a pagan king who did not worship, did not follow the Bible God. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I want to ask you to subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell twice, because if you like me, you don't want to miss anything. If you don't like me, you want to keep your eye on me, and I'm just getting started. And please hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down accordingly, however you feel about the podcast so far. But what do you think about that? The Watchers, they're only in the Bible once, and where they are, it's a pagan king that saw one. So where do we get the Watchers from then, Jeff? You get them from the book of Enoch. And only the book of Enoch has a full treatment of these beings called Watchers. And I've proven to you in other videos on this channel, and folks, I'm downloading every single video on this channel. I've downloaded all of the ones that were not live, and now I'm back to, when am I back to? I'm back to, where did I put it? I'm almost through 2019 of downloading every video that we have. I'm back to May 22nd of 2019. Once I get them all downloaded, I'll find out how big of a device it will take to hold those and how much those devices would cost. And we'll do the cost analysis, benefit analysis, and see if some of you might want to own that memory stick or whatever it would be with all of every video we've ever done. So we're going to go ahead. And, you know, Tracy just brought up something I wasn't going to go into, but maybe I should go into it because it actually is very important. It's very interesting. This was a dream. And I have shown you as well, ladies and gentlemen, on this channel. And all you have to do is go on the channel and search these things. Be on my channel, hit the hourglass or the magnifying glass, and you can search. Do you know that the dreams that you have early in your sleep and the dreams that are in your REM state might contain some good information, but 95% of your dreams contain false information, astral garbage, and much archonic disinformation. So when you're talking about dreams, you're talking about dreams. Remember that. Now, the book of Enoch. I've proven to you that the book of Enoch, as we know it, is a counterfeit. And let me give you, and I'll show you again. I don't want to reteach the whole teaching, but the book of Enoch, as we know it today, has been proven to be a counterfeit. You can search the channel and find this. The book of Enoch was lost to humanity for thousands of years. The book was actually the equivalent of the Holy Grail. It was the most sought after treasure in the world. It was the conspiracy du jour, much like the Watchers are today. Everybody was after it. Everybody wanted it. It was like the Holy Grail, which of course was the cup supposedly that Jesus supposedly used at the Last Supper, but we won't go into that. So everybody's searching for this thing, right? Nobody's been able to find it for thousands and thousands of years. That was the case until the late 18th century, when a man named James Bruce, in a journey to Africa to find the source of the Nile River, not only did he find one book of Enoch, the most rarest thing in the history of history, not only did he find one, not only did he find two, he found at least 3 and probably 4 copies of the book of Enoch. Now that's kind of crazy, but wait, there's more. Bruce was described as a Scottish adventurer and travel writer. Did you guys ever used to watch Seinfeld? Do you remember the guy that Elaine worked for, Mr. Peterman? What a great actor. What a great actor. That guy was so funny. And he was Mr. Peterman. Remember, there I was on the tundra, on the Saharan, whatever they call that place there in the Sahara. And a great lion was bearing down upon me. Good thing I was wearing my special loafers, which allowed me to run at a high rate of speed and avoid that charging lion. This guy was Mr. Peterman. He was a Scottish adventurer and a travel writer, the guy that found the book of Enoch that you think is the best thing ever. It was Mr. Peterman on Seinfeld. But wait, there's more. He was also a well-known and documented Freemason. He was initiated in Lodge Canongate Kilwinning number 2 on August 1st, 1753, because you know I bring the receipts. The lodge history, which details his initiation into the lodge, reads, Bruce James Younger of Kinnaird, the Abyssinian traveler. So you've got a dream from a pagan king, right? You got a dream from a pagan king talking about the Watchers. And then you got your proof text book of the Watchers found by Mr. Peterman. And he found a bunch of them, so much so that, and look at this guy. Here's your hero. If you believe in the book of Enoch, this is your hero. He's wearing lipstick. This is your hero. And oh, by the way, Mr. Bruce could also read and write the Ethiopic language, which his books of Enoch just happened to have been written in. Did I mention that he was an adventure writer, a travel writer? He brought back enough copies of this lost book that nobody could find for thousands and thousands of years. He brought back enough copies of this lost book to give a copy each to at least 2 kings and 1 to a library. And we have to assume that he kept 1 for himself. Of course, he became very rich and he became very famous. But Jeff, I believe in the Watchers. The Watchers are true. The Watchers are a great doctrine. So what you're telling me is Mr. Peterman, the Freemason, went to Africa, found at least 5 copies of the most sought-after artifact ever known to man, and it just happened to have been written in a language that he himself happened to know and could write. This was, and this is your book of Enoch. This is your sole source for the Watcher story that you buy and that you'll defend, and that some of you are yelling and cussing at me right now. Have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? A dandy in lipstick and the words of a pagan king. That's your source for the Watchers. So, Jeff, are you just here to say bad things about people that believe in the Watchers? Are you just here with your Roger Stone looking glasses? Are you just here to make people mad? No. I'm here to show you that these people that are pushing the book of Enoch just want to be paid. These people that are pushing the book of Enoch just want to keep you in fear and guilt and doubt. And these people pushing the book of Enoch want you to think there's somebody watching you all the time. It's about fear. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this. The Watchers. They're doing it for clicks, ladies and gentlemen. The Watchers. The Watchers are something that was created to provide cover for the communist secret police. Wow. The term secret police refers to police established by governments. What did they say about Jesus in the Bible? The government shall be upon his shoulders, and it shall, and it is. Jesus is government. He didn't exist, but Jesus is government. Governments use secret police to maintain political and social control. What does Christianity use to do? To maintain political and social control, just like communism. Stay with me. Generally clandestine, which means secret, thus secret police. They've operated independently of the civil police. Particularly notorious examples were the Russian KGB, whose logo you see there, and the East German Stasi. Do you notice some similarities? The Stasi, communist. KGB, communist. The idea of social control, the idea of political control, the idea of governmental control, communist. Secret police is a communist idea. And secret police tactics include arrest, imprisonment, torture, execution of enemies, and intimidation of potential opposition members. Think back about the Old Testament. Did the God of the Old Testament ever torture people? Check the box. He put his own son on a cross, if you believe the story. That's torture. Did the German SS was not a secret police? Please don't show your ignorance in the chat room. Did the God of the Old Testament execute people? Check the box. He even executed his own son. Did the God of the Old Testament intimidate enemies? Check the box. He killed them. Did the God of the Old Testament rid potential opposition members? Go chop down all of their groves, cut down all of their poles, kill all of their women, but you can keep a few for you to screw. Kill all of the children, but you can keep some of the girls, because we know some of you like to screw them too. Kill all the boys except the ones you want to butt bugger. This is what it says, my friends. The God of the Bible acts just like Stasi, acts just like the KGB. But wait, you know there's more. I'm like the ShamWow guy, but wait, there's more. Who are the watchers, really? A key verse of the scripture, you call it the scripture, I call it the script. The key verse of the script gives us the key. This verse of the script gives us a key, and I'm going to pull up a Bible Hub because I want to give you the actual source of this word, and it's going to blow your freaking minds when you see this. I'm going someplace with this. I know I'm upsetting you, but I'm not doing it just to upset you, even though upsetting you is kind of fun sometimes. And sometimes you got to upset people to get them moving. So anyway, Proverbs 15:3. The eyes of who? The Lord. Who's the Lord? The God of the Bible. The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good. Let's look at this particular verse for a moment. Let's look at this particular verse, ladies and gentlemen, and break it down just a little bit. Your watcher proponents don't do this. Your prophecy proponents don't do this because they don't have the skill and they don't have the cajoles, cojones, whatever you call them. They don't got them. Proverbs 15:3. The eyes of the Lord. But you know what? Let's see what it says in the original language. What do you say about that? The eyes of the Lord, and just in case you're wondering who the Lord is, that's Yahweh, the God of Israel, the one that you worship. Some of you don't know why you do, but it's the one that some of you worship. So it's that God. And his eyes, what's his eyes mean? His appearance, his presence. He's everywhere. And he is observing. And notice he's observing the evil. The evil, he's observing people that are bad, disagreeable, malignant, people that are not on his side. But, and they were first in this verse, but what he's also watching, he's watching the good, the beautiful, the pleasant, the agreeable, the good. So whatever he's doing, ladies and gentlemen, whatever observing means, he's doing it to the good people as well as the evil people. Am I right in the text with this? Is it not the Lord? Yes, it's the Lord, Jeff. Is he not doing whatever this word means to both good people and evil people? Yes, he is, Jeff. I'm going to take another cup of drink of hot coffee and leave you in suspense for just a minute. It won't be as suspenseful if you're on shortwave, but if you're watching, it's leave a little more suspenseful. Oh, that's good stuff. So what does the word observing mean? The Lord's doing it, and he does it to both the evil and the good. Watch this. Observing. Boom. He's spying. To spy. To spy. To spy. To spy. He's a watcher. The Lord is a watcher, and he's spying. He's spying. Oh, see, I told you I'm the only one that can do this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the only one that can bring you this stuff because I'm the only one that's got the what it takes to do this. The Lord is making a list. He's checking it twice. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. The Lord is an elf on the shelf. The Lord is a spy. The Lord is a watcher. Because he's spying on you. Why? Because he's jealous. Because he's vengeful. He's like the bad, crazy boyfriend that spies on you and sends his friends to spy on you. The Lord is a spy. The Bible God is the ultimate watcher, and he's the ultimate spy. His eyes are everywhere. He's got his secret agents watching you everywhere. He's spying on both the wicked and the good. The plain text of the script proves it. The God of the Bible is the ultimate secret police. The God of the Bible is the ultimate watcher. The God of the Bible is a spy. And they've got you believing in the watchers. There's few things pushed harder in evangelical Christianity today than this fairy tale of the watchers. Because the fairy tale of this watchers goes along with the fairy tale of Jesuit prophecy, and all prophecy is Jesuit prophecy. I've proven that to you as recently as last night. The eyes of the Lord are everywhere. He's spying on everyone. If you want to spy this book that is signed and numbered, you can help me by giving a gift of at least $20. I'll send it to you, postage paid. And we'll use the proceeds to pay our shortwave bill. The Bible God is a paranoid tyrant that employs spies to keep his people in line. Today, these are the Jesuit communist controllers that infiltrate each and every Christian and para-Christian organization to keep watch on the people and control their thoughts. Every single preacher that you hear preaching about the watchers is either too mentally deficient to figure it out, or they're in on it. Every single person, and I mean every single person that you watch on YouTube that talks about the watchers, that talks about the book of Enoch, every single one of them either are too mentally deficient, they're mentally incapable of getting it, or they're in on it. You have to decide which one they are. The watchers are the Bible God's spies. The watchers are the prophetic script writers and controllers. There are no watchers. They just want you to think there's watchers. They want you to energetically, do you understand? You're giving energetic permission to the biblical deep state. You're giving energetic permission to the biblical deep state. If you believe that there's watchers, oh, Jeff, there's watchers. You're giving your energetic acquiescence to the fact that there's watchers. Oh, Jeff, there's watchers. And the fact that you're admitting that there's watchers, you're giving them implied consent to watch you. You don't want the deep state watching you. You don't want Bill Gates watching you. You don't want Alexa listening to you, but you're fine with the deep state communist secret police of the God of the Bible watching you. These Jesuit communist watchers also produced the prophecy and continue to fan the flames of it in your undisciplined minds, so that you continue to blindly follow their scripted prophecy all the way into voluntary communist domination and rule over the United States of America. And unfortunately, Christians are still 65% of Americans. And Christians, your complicity, Christians, your lack of mental discipline, Christians, your cowardice makes it that much harder for true American patriots and for true truth seekers, for people that are willing to go all the way down the rabbit hole. You make it that much harder for us to resist communist domination, and you make it that much harder for the rest of us, language alert, to save your sorry asses. This is real. This is true. And I just ask you, what you gonna do? What you gonna do now that this truth has broken out all over you? What you gonna do now that you know who the watchers are? What you gonna do now that you know you're being played? What you gonna do now that I, Le Champion, apologies to Chris Jericho, have exposed one of the most popular Christian light myths as a communist control tactic? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Well, if you want to, the phone lines are open, and you could call me at 913-279-0831. You could call me at 913-279-0831. I'm having trouble closing my windows. What's going on here, ladies and gentlemen? You don't have to talk about the watchers, but you can. You don't have to talk about anything other than what you want to talk about. There's very few rules. Number one, you have to be polite. Number two, you have to be interesting. And number three, we ask you to come strong, have a take, and don't suck. That's what we ask. The phone number, 913-279-0831. We do ask you to be respectful of the time because we do have a lot of people that want to call in, and the calls do tend to stack up very, very quickly. While we're waiting for callers, there's some really interesting information, and I'm going to show you this. And if you call, that's okay. You can hold on just for a second. What I'm going to show you is a video that comes from Georgia. The election ballot counting facility shows that these ballot supervisors and election supervisors kicking people out of the ballot center. And then I'm going to show you what happened after they kicked people out. But right now, we're going to take this call. It's Late Night in the Heartland, and you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, this is Grimerica.
Hey, Grimerica, what's up?
You know, it's funny. You just showed the Georgia video. According to Election Wizard on Twitter, the governor of Georgia is now calling for a signature audit.
The governor of Georgia is now calling for a signature audit?
Yeah.
That's a huge reversal for the governor. I wonder if he is afraid of going to jail.
I don't know. That's a huge flip, though. I mean, that's Breitbart's reporting that. So Kyle Morris of Breitbart.
Well, Breitbart is generally very, very reliable. And if the governor of Georgia, and I can't confirm this because I haven't seen it yet, if the governor of Georgia is calling for a signature audit, that means he's basically calling for a forensic audit like President Trump is calling for. And this is the guy that looks like he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, receiving money from the CCP, receiving money from Dominion, passing illegal laws in the final days before an election. So this would be a huge flip for this governor. And in my mind, I would think, America, that if this governor all of a sudden goes from bad guy to good guy in 48 hours, it might mean that he may have had a call from the White House, and he might have had a little conversation with a man named President Donald J. Trump, and he might have been, made aware of some of this and some of that, and he decides, oh, maybe I want to be a good guy instead of a bad guy. What do you think about that idea?
That, or he could have taken a plea bargain. This broke at 9:59 Central. So
yeah, that's what I mean, a plea bargain. So he decides, you know what? I don't want to go to that little room down in Cuba where a lot of people don't come back from. Maybe I'll work with President Trump. That would be my off-the-cuff interpretation. Do you have anything else for us?
That's it. I just wanted to notice that send that to you since it literally just broke.
Powerful.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Grimerica, I appreciate it very much. And I love the fact that we've got these intrepid, independent journalists out there sending us information. And it's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Well, hi there. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So, I take words and I flip them, right? My watcher friends that you haven't seen the videos yet. I'm telling you, I got some watchers, and this little guy casts a shadow. So these guys gave me this today. You know how they talk about the word. Well, I'm the word. I'm a woman of righteous divinity.
I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
And I believe it.
I'm flipping all this script, Jeff.
That's what we've got to do, because the script is written to take us down. And the only way for us to get over it is to turn this thing around. Delaney Pearl Jones, thanks so much for the call. Always interesting. And we appreciate your participation. It is Late Night in the Heartland, and you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeffrey, it's the Token Toker.
What's up, brah?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Are you token right now by chance?
I was earlier.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was just wondering. Not that I'm not against token. I'm not a toker myself, but you know, I'm learning a lot. You know, I tell you what, I'm learning a lot about the benefits of CBD. I didn't even like CBD, but man, I tell you what, that stuff really helps a brother out, keeps him on a nice even keel, keeps the pain and the discomfort down, helps you recover better. And we happen to sell it. You might want to go to jeffreydaugherty.com and check it out. But I mean, the hemp plant has been attacked by the powers that be, unlike few other things. And that alone tells me there's some good stuff there in that hemp plant. And it's much, much better for pain relief. Even token is much better than the pharmaceuticals they put in us. So enough of that. I'm sure we are on the same page there.
I can amen to that.
Absolutely. So what's on your mind tonight?
So you were talking about dreaming.
I was.
I am also epileptic, as having brain cancer.
Oh no.
And well, shit happens. Excuse my French. And I appreciate your attitude. I've had dreams in the past, and my dreams would be leading up to the seizure. And like I'd be doing this or I'd be doing that, watching this or watching that in my dream, okay?
Yeah.
And the next day, the same exact scenario from my dream would happen, and then boom, I'd have the seizure just like I had my dream.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, do you think that's some sort of like being psychic or what?
You know, it's hard for me to make, decisions about what's going on with you. It could be, your mind preparing you to be ready. Or, it also could be, and here I am, just throwing stuff out. It could possibly be like something that doesn't have your best interest at heart, trying to create a self-fulfilling prophecy that gets you thinking, oh, no, one of these seizures is coming. And I think probably one of the best ways to think that to get a seizure is to think that there's a seizure coming. So, it's only you can tell, man. Only you know for sure.
And something else that I can vouch for marijuana. The reason I call myself the Token Toker, I've been smoking this stuff for so long. My original brain tumor was when I was 14, and I was smoking weed every day since. And they just found my brain cancer in my second brain tumor. That was the exact brain tumor as my first brain tumor, not even 6 months ago. So don't tell me pot doesn't cure cancer.
I think that there are so much cures within that particular plant. And I'm a full advocate of, full on, medical use of the plant. And I understand a lot of people like to, use it recreationally. Like anything else, I think it can be abused. Certain people can have problems with it. but it's certainly better than the pharmaceuticals that they want to jam down our throats. So I am on the side of legalization of marijuana. I really am. And plus, it's grown-ass people. Please do.
That is the only burning bush.
That's the only bush that should be burning. I love it, man. That's great.
That is the only burning bush.
That's excellent.
Great night, Jeff.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Really, really nice. I love it. I love it.
Next hits for you, brother.
Thank you. And Marcos is looking for a license to be able to grow it down in Mexico. It's late night in the heartland, and you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Well, hello, Jeff. It's John in Tulsa.
Hey, John. How's it going, my friend?
Good. How you doing out there on the Serengeti?
You know, I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Yeah, I heard you say Serengeti while ago.
Yeah, I went and did my polar plunge tonight, John. It was it was 34 degrees temperature, and the water temperature was 38. And I went through it, and boy, it's an invigorating thing. It's one of the best things you can do.
When the wife and me used to go scuba diving all the time, my wife was a 5-star PADI instructor, and we went up into Missouri. There was a hole up there. It was a big old deep coal pits that was full of water. We'd go down on a coal dive down there, but we wore dry suits.
Yep, it's cold.
Cold, that water.
You know, I'm a diver too. It's been a while since I've been in the water, but diving is an excellent sport.
Oh yeah, we love that. My wife was something else. I'll tell you, she loved that. She was an instructor, like I said. Hey, I was going to ask you about the what the hell was it? I'm going to ask. Oh, did you get the letter about Jacob Uso? I guess you got that, didn't you?
I did get it. I did get it. Yeah. I've been super busy lately. I was on. Oh, by the way, I was on the Power Hour radio show today. I think they'll have it up tomorrow, but that was a really good show. Make sure that you check that out and go over to the Power Hour and subscribe to their YouTube channel as well.
Well, good. Okay. I was going to have to say this. How do you do it, man? Do you get any sleep? I mean, you have to put these shows together. I don't know how you do it. I mean, you must be highly conscious. I don't know how else you can do it.
Well, I have to require very little sleep, and I do so much physical and spiritual optimization. It is, and it is what I do, and I have the ability to do a lot of research. And you know, President Trump sleeps a little less than I do, but he doesn't have me by much. And we just keep going and we keep growing. And people like Donald Trump and people like me, we got a mission, and the man with the mission never feels the elements.
Well, I still only sleep 4 hours a night.
Well, there you go.
I've always been that way.
I
worked midnights for 37 years.
That'll do it to you. And, you know, I started that when I was in the Air Force. I worked grave shift for a long, long time, and it just kind of gets in your blood.
Say something about the Watchers, this show tonight.
Okay.
You know, the Masons had a story in there. I don't remember where I read it at, but there was a story about Enoch, and he buried these golden plates, and they had the history of the world on it and all that. And anyway, sometimes I wondered if Joseph Smith got his idea from that. And I wonder if the Jehovah's Witnesses that are called Watchers might have picked that up too.
Ooh, that's right. The Watchtower. And Joseph Smith was obviously a Freemason. So he knew the story, and he probably did take it from there. That's great.
Did you know the guy that the Masons supposedly killed? They say he killed him. It was back, I can't remember what his name was, but he supposedly exposed the secrets. This was back early in the 1800s, and he disappeared, this guy. Joseph Smith ended up marrying his widow 15 years later. It was one of his plural wives.
Imagine that.
Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, I'm going to let you go. You got other callers, but I just wanted to say, keep up the good work, man.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it. And it's guys like you that keep me doing what I do, because I'm enjoying the heck out of it, and I really am here to change the world one person at a time. It's late night in the heartland, and you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hello, Jeffrey. This is Mr. A.
Mr. A.
I got quick 3 points.
All right.
One, you remember the movie Avatar?
I do remember the movie Avatar.
Okay, let's place Avatar and combine that with flat plane, and I think that may start to explain dreams. Okay.
Ooh, I like it.
Point number two, you know, a line is actually a triangle.
A line is actually a triangle.
Well, if you pull it, if you like take a guitar string and you pull it, you know, you made a triangle and it vibrates, you know. So so I think if there's musicians listening, they can, you know, triangulate, you know, the notes.
Ooh, interesting.
Start making sense.
Interesting. Thank you, sweetheart.
Request of you to talk about the LIBR, LIB as in Bravo, R as a prefix, liberty or liberty.
Ooh, that's interesting.
You know, and then you have how has it been corrupted, and you have liberal as a bad connotation when you have it's from that root word libre, which is supposed to mean free. So
right,
if you can work with that, expound on that, and also don't forget to let me know where I can find your research on that Our Father who art in heaven prayer.
Right. You know,
So,
I'm probably going to have to just redo that one. And that's a good one. They call that the Lord's Prayer only because it is. Huh.
Right.
It should be called the Lord's Prayer, Preyer. I will get on that.
Okay. And hey, I hope my call was short, and I'm out.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Great call. That's the way we do it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way it's done. And I appreciate, you know, all of the callers, and I appreciate those folks that take time to call in on a regular basis. And we really appreciate every one of you. You're all a bunch of great people. So this video in Georgia, and I don't know, these people are so arrogant. Why do they let people see them? But anyway, they closed down. They said, oh, we're not counting anymore. It's all done. Everybody go home. Then they come back in and they pull thousands and thousands of ballots out from under a table after, quote unquote, the counting's done. And what do? They start counting them, and you can bet your bottom dollar that those were votes for Joe Biden. This comes from OAN. I think they're a very reputable source. Let me just show you this video. It's a short little video. I don't know if there's any audio on it or not, but we'll see if there is. I'm going to share this video with you, and it's pretty fascinating. It's only 1 minute and 36 seconds. So let's take a look at this.
At about 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to roll this back and show it to you. There you go. So now they're going to start pulling these ballots out from under this table.
Right here.
This table, the black one, was placed there by the lady with the blonde braids at about 8:22 a.m. in the morning. So she put that table there. So the same person who's staying behind now, the same person who cleared the place out under the pretense that we're going to stop counting, is the person who put the table there at 8:22 in the morning. Yeah, I saw 4 suitcases come out from underneath the table.
Look at that.
Yeah, upper right hand. You see the gentleman in red.
Look at
So
that.
he just pulled one out.
So, ladies and gentlemen, they're pulling out votes after voting is over, and they're trying to say that there's nothing to see here on this election. Come on, man. We're smarter than that. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Oh, Jeffrey, thank you so much for taking my call. Really appreciate coming on to you. You were on with Alex Stein maybe 6 weeks ago, and just really glad that you did that interview with him and took the time, and appreciate everything that you're offering.
Thank you so much. What's on your mind tonight? I appreciate you calling.
Yeah, so Jeffrey, and this isn't to put you in the spot up. This is a genuine call.
Please do. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, so I was, raised Catholic or whatever, and like most Catholics, I don't know my Bible really too much at all. And anyway, so here I am. I'm married now with young children, and we take them to church. My wife, I happen to be married to the choir director at our church.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm bringing my children there, and I'm bringing the children, usually anyways, and with the mass and things like that. We're of the persuasion where we're not trying to really ever have our children see either of us parents, in mass. So we hang out in the cry room. I've got a 5-year-old, almost 3-year-old, and an 11-month-old. And I guess I would just ask you, and I don't know if you have children. I haven't been around long enough. And
I do. I have 3 children. They're all adult now, but I was a preacher, and I had 3 kids the whole time I was preaching. And they were young by the time I left preaching. They were starting to get into their teens.
Okay, and so maybe you're one of those 3 children or more have brought you grandchildren today. I'm not sure, but I guess my thing is to not take up too much of your time. What would your suggestion be, or like what would be like you want to still raise your children with morals and values and ethics and the rest of it? But I mean, I'm hearing what you're laying down as far as what it is that you're about, and I mean, it's really making a lot of sense to me. So what would you do to I don't know. I guess you can see maybe the predicament that I find myself.
Yeah.
Like, all right. At what point would I tell him, oh, well, the Bible is actually not exactly 100, or whatever.
The thing that mystifies me is the power of Christianity over the last 2,000 years, which I think is demonstrably an immoral religion, but they have managed to convince us that the only real source of morality is Christianity. There's so many other sources of morality beyond the Christian church. I think, a smart guy like you can find, many other places to talk about morality, morality from, this country, morality from, perhaps, the great people and the great leaders of your race. I don't know what race you are, doesn't matter, but you can find, stories of morality there. And morals really aren't taught to us in church. Dogmas are. And I think with a man like you as a father, and I'm assuming that your wife is very much like you, that you have all the example that those kids need to learn morality. So if you want to keep them in church, that's your business. But a church is not necessary for you to teach morality. And in fact, it could end up being a difficulty explaining why, Daddy, why does the priest do this? Daddy, why do people do that when they're supposed to be good? That's my 2 cents for what it's worth, my friend.
No, and I very much appreciate that. That makes a lot of sense to me. And there's a lot as far as the Vatican and all that, that I'm learning about that and where that is. And even some of the things that you see this Pope doing today is just
right.
So how can regular Catholics, like my mother-in-law, for instance, and I'm not here to throw under the bus, she's a very pious, person, goes to church every day.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, you can't be sitting back watching these headlines come out about endorsing all the things that he has so far and basically cutting down America. And, it's just very... I don't know.
It's very hard for me to understand that. I think it's, the fear of, oh my gosh, they're the ones that are right. I can't go against them, or I'm going to, go to hell, or, at the very best, go to purgatory. So, I mean, it's a predicament. It really is. I thank you so much for that call. It was a very good one, a very real one, a very powerful one. And my beautiful wife says, by way of advice to you, and I would just second this with everything I have, just make sure that your children know that they're not born sinners. They are divine, they are sovereign, they are free, and they do have the spark of divinity within them. And baby, I would definitely want that to be put out. And I think that's great advice from the lovely Cynthia. So just make sure your kids know that that is not true about them. And, it puts you in a bit of a tough situation. I understand that. Now, there's another video out, and I actually told you this the other night, talking about Biden possibly being ready to do a plea bargain, for lack of a better term, to do a deal to keep his butt out of prison in exchange for some type of a pardon. We haven't heard much about it, and I think one of the reasons we haven't heard much about it is because the terms that Joe Biden is offering are unreasonable. It would be better for the country if Biden would admit, hey, I didn't know this was happening, even though he did, and it was terrible, and we cheated, and we withdraw, and we wish President Trump the best. That would be best for the nation. But at the cost of what this next video shows, and it's a short one, and the fellow's speaking Chinese, and we're obviously not going to be able to understand him, but look at the words that are on the screen and see what he's saying. And I just don't think it's worth it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see it done the easy way, but I don't think this is worth it. Let me see what you think.
告诉大家啊，其实昨天晚上我就已经知道了，中了绝对可靠信息来源情报来源，说拜登啊专门去找了麦康奈尔，知道吧？找麦康奈尔，
明白，麦康奈尔。
对，参议院绝对的老大嘛，是不是？华盛顿 DC 里真正的啊，势力排名第3的人，
对，
排名第4的人啊。 说什么呢
？This guy's a billionaire, by the way.
啊，就是拜登自己已经知道，他这些法庭的，就是只要有一个法庭裁决了，他整个全输。他说，只要在法律上，因为他自己心里很清楚的，告诉大家，他说让麦康奈尔说，意思是什么意思呢？他说他不相信川普总统，但是呢，相信麦康奈尔。 他说让麦康奈尔给他做担保啊，一旦啊这个法律上出了，就是他自己心里清楚，法律上一定会真相全会出来的。那个时候，他会主动承认败选，但是前提条件让川普总统给他豁免，和他家人啊，包括拜登一盘们。
This is where they lose me. I would be for a deal, maybe. But not if it includes pardoning Hunter Biden for the issues that are on that hard drive. Some of you know the issues that are on that hard drive, the most horrific acts that a human being can do to other human beings and the most innocent of human beings. They are on that hard drive. We cannot agree to that. It's better to fight it out in the streets than to sacrifice the most innocent amongst us for an easier way out. And I don't think that President Trump would even consider pardoning Biden if that's his bargaining position. But you know, Biden is a long-term player. Perhaps he is thinking, I'll start there and then I'll work my way down, because I don't think that Joe has any problem throwing Hunter under the bus if he can get his own sorry ass out of trouble. So we'll keep you posted on that. But that was a Chinese billionaire. You know, Tracy's saying Hunter is a victim. Yeah, possibly, but what he did can't be forgiven. It can't be forgiven, in my opinion, folks. We cannot forgive the horrors that were perpetrated by Hunter Biden on that video, in my humble opinion. Well, maybe not so humble. The phone number is 913-279-0831. It's 913-279-0831. You are welcome to call in and talk about whatever you want to talk about, and I'll be happy and honored to take your call. He was victimized as a child, tremendously so. He has probably been through similar abuse. I agree. But when you are doing things to your own daughter and you're doing things to children, I'm sorry. There is no pardon. And what Hunter Biden deserves, he deserves mercy. He deserves empathy. And he deserves a fast and painless execution. he deserves a fast and painless execution. If you admit, Joe, we'll let you and Hunter, we'll give you the option to do it the honorable way. We'll leave a Glock with a 40 caliber round chambered and allow you to go out with some measure of dignity, or we'll maybe even give him a lethal injection or something. That's as much decency, that's as much empathy, that's as much pardon as he's gonna get from me. Either one of them. That's more than they deserve, and that's certainly more than their victims got from those two monsters. AK Girl states that she was abused and didn't go out and abuse others. Good on you. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you didn't. And yeah, I'm not going to play that. If you disagree, let me know. It's Late Night in the Heartland, and you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Well, hello. Thank you for letting me on tonight.
Absolutely. What's on your mind?
Well, I've been listening to a lot of stuff
Mm-hmm.
over the past several months.
If you could speak up a little bit, we'd be able to hear you a little bit better.
Yeah, I know. I have you on speakerphone. Hold on. Let me change that. I'm going to put my earbuds in. I don't know if
That's okay.
Okay, so I've been watching a lot of things for a lot of months. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay. And it's all so confusing to people who are ungrounded.
Good point.
You know what I mean by that?
I think I do, but why don't you explain it?
Okay, so I am a ancient healing practitioner. We're talking Chinese medicine, ancient Indian medicine, meditation. I've been attempting to be a good yogi for a long time.
Well, maybe you have some understanding of why I'm wearing violet glasses right now.
Well, you know, it's pretty interesting. We all have certain brain wavelengths that seem to make us feel comfortable. Right?
Yep.
And when it comes to people who have sensitivities to blue light and they have problems sleeping, it is best to wear the blue light blocking glasses.
Yep. I didn't mean to
that would
get you
be
off.
red.
I didn't mean to get you off your subject. Go ahead and continue. You're ancient
No,
healer.
no.
Yep.
It's okay. Yeah, you know, and tonight I'm in the midst of moving to Sedona, Arizona. Do you know
Oh,
where
good
that
for
is?
you. It's a beautiful town. I was just there, I guess, a couple years ago now, but really enjoyed it. Obviously a great vibe there, and it'd be a great place to live.
Well, I don't know. All I was told is that it's very healing.
It is.
And anyone who needs to receive a great source of healing, I would recommend it.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking at these cards tonight, and as a devout lover of Jesus Christ and a studier of the Buddha and a studier of Hinduism and a studier and learner of the one God, which is the Sikhs, and looking at all of the religions of the world, the number one rule is do unto others as they would have you do unto you.
Can I say one thing real quickly? I know you're on a roll, but you know, it's funny. The Bible says, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Love your neighbor unless God tells you to kill those bitches, and then forget that first rule. But anyway, back to your point.
Well, it's a strange thing how the messages come to people, right? And it's unclear as to why the messages come to people, and that's a whole other discussion about mental health and problems with that, right?
Okay.
I've been studying the body. I've been studying. I mean, I'm a PhD immunologist. Okay. So, I mean, I can tell you my credentials and they're real. They're not just some like online thing, you know?
So do you believe there's a dosum whist?
Apparently, I didn't do very well in school. Apparently, I looked at my transcripts and they gave me low grades, but I passed. And if you look at the average MD, you know what it takes to become a medical doctor?
I have a general idea, and I hope you're coming to a point.
You pass your boards and you become a medical doctor. It doesn't matter what your grades were.
Oh, interesting.
Pass your tests, you become a medical doctor.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, I mean, so when it comes to the energy of the universe and what you give and what you receive and what you create, there are colors, like you said, the violet, right?
Mm-hmm.
I picked a card out tonight called Forgiveness. And we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation. And deliver us from evil.
But unless God changes his mind and wants to kill people instead. And tells people to kill themselves. Tells people to kill other people. God didn't even have the guts to do it. He tells other people to kill people. Yeah, I'm sorry. I ran out of patience. That was just too long. Too long. And, you know, it's interesting because why I'm wearing these violet glasses is because I have some new technology, and it revealed to me that I'm an asshole. The only thing that keeps me from having that Dennis Miller song, "'Cause I'm an asshole," is that I can't pay the ASCAP and BMI royalties. But one of the it was revealed to me, through this technology I'm using, that's one of the reasons is because, there's reasons why you're an asshole, and having this violet glass on and wearing it for 2 hours a day and, listening to some certain tones, and it's brilliant technology. This thing pegged me, and we'll talk about it later once I've actually learned about the technology. But come on, man, if you're a PhD and you've done all this study and you won't address God killing people, love your neighbor as yourself, unless I decide to tell you to kill them. Come on, folks. Come on, folks. We got to be consistent. At least you got to be consistent around here, and you got to get to your point faster than she did. I'm a very smart lady, obviously. ASSHOLE. Yeah, get to your point faster than that, and I appreciate you calling in. I really do. But we just got to get to our points faster than that lady did, ladies and gentlemen. And I saw something today. I think Tracy Dyer sent it to me, and we will take a quick look at the Unindoctrinate Twitter page, ladies and gentlemen. I have a Twitter. We've got almost 100,000 followers. We did have over 100,000, and I started unfollowing people that were boring, and now they're unfollowing me back. So I've dropped under 100,000, but there was something that was very, very profound, and I don't know why I never thought of it. I don't know why I never thought of it, but I didn't think of it. And this person said it, and I'm trying to find it right now, but the gist of it was that we have the Electoral College in the United States. Okay, we have the Electoral College. And the reason why we have the Electoral College in the United States is because people like me in Kansas, we would never, ever see a presidential candidate if it weren't for the Electoral College. The Electoral College is there to make sure that all 50 of the United States get a say in who becomes president, because you can't just campaign in California, New York, Florida, and Texas and win the popular vote. You could win every vote in those states and still lose if you don't bother campaigning in the rest of the country and winning those electoral votes. And if you want to see a great discussion of the Electoral College, watch a debate I had with Zach Hubbard some months ago. Yeah, he got his ass kicked, but that's okay. That's not the first or the last ass whipping I've dispensed. But the point is, it shows exactly why the Electoral College is important. Ergo, again, the Kansas analogy. In Kansas, you got Kansas City, Kansas, you got Topeka, and you got Wichita. And then you got everybody else. In Oregon, you got Portland and maybe Eugene, Springfield, and everybody else. In Washington, you got Seattle and everybody else. And the same way that California, New York, Texas, and Florida could dominate the United States without the Electoral College, Seattle's dominating Washington. Portland's dominating Oregon. Kansas City, Kansas, Wichita are dominating Kansas. And the profound idea is we ought to bring the Electoral College concept to the state level as well. So you can't just win Philly and win the whole state, which is what happened. So you can't just steal Philly and win the whole state. I think it's a very profound concept, and it can be done. Thank you for holding. It's Late Night in the Heartland, and you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hi, Jeff. This is Sally from Santa Paula. But I just wanted, when you're talking about the Christians being, you know, like the secret police or whatever. But if you go back into history, they have things written down. The priests, the Jesuits, they started it with the confessionals. And everyone would go in. The priests were the only ones that could read and write. They would go in there and they couldn't see them, and they would write. They have things of them writing. They have notebooks of them writing every confession down, you know. And they would get people to snitch on their neighbors, and women who are widows, they're witches, right, to steal their land. They started the whole secret police, the KGB, everything with the confessionals of the Christian church.
You are so smart. I missed that, and you are so smart. You're right on.
Yeah, and they did. They even found notebooks, and they're writing everything down. Everything these people said. They encourage them to say bad things, and that woman might be a witch. And women whose husbands died, they call them a witch and steal all their land. And they started the whole confessional, secret police, everything. They started it, and they found the notebooks, and they wrote. I mean, it's just incredible. It's just so true. They just hurt so many people and destroyed so many lives.
That is an excellent call. Thanks so much. Do you have anything else?
Sure,
Any other truth you want to drop on me?
I just want people to know that the Christian church started it with their confessionals. They're the only ones that could read and write, and the peoples couldn't read or write. Just the priests could, though.
Yep. That is brilliant. Thank you so much for bringing that out.
Okay, good. Yeah, because it ties right in what you're saying. So, okay, love your show. You're the greatest.
Thank you so much. Wow. What a great mind. See, that's the beautiful thing. That's why I want more people to subscribe. That's why I want more people to listen, because we get a broader range of ideas and a broader range of truth. And it was a great catch. That was an amazing call. Is God a female? Yes and no. I think that God there has to be some essence of the divine one or ones that is female, or else how could the divine understand all that it is to be female? In the same instance, there has to be some type of a male essence in divinity as well, because how the heck are you going to understand male if there's not male in divinity? So I would say, is God a woman? Yes and no. Is God a woman or a man? Yes. I like it. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. I missed my 11 o'clock break because I got so excited and so interested in the things that you wonderful people were talking about. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break right now. You can continue to call in. I'll be right back after the break, and we'll get to your calls right after that break. And we've got another 45 minutes or so of show. Don't be shy. Please call in if you have the desire to do so, and we would love to hear what you have to say. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. It's Late Night in the Heartland, and I'll be right back after this great message, ladies and gentlemen.
My Daily Choice brings together the house of brands so you can market a diversified portfolio of products and capitalize on the newest trends in the hottest industries. Instead of being locked into just one industry, you get to participate in all of them. Starting with Hempworx, one of the most popular brands in the booming CBD industry. From farm to extraction to bottling, Hempworx puts a premium line of hemp oil, topicals, hair and skincare, and lifestyle products in your hands. Then there's Mantra Essential Oils, the soul-enriching line of essential oils, essential oil blends, and botanical fragrances that give your customers a variety of ways to align their senses and enhance their health and wellness routines. For those who can't sit still, there's High Life Travel, the members-only travel booking portal with deeper discounts than the major booking sites. High Life Travel actually pays every time you or your preferred customers book flights, hotels, rental cars, homes, and experiences in the world's most desirable locations. Daily Sprays, the pocket-sized sprays that nourish the body with a concentrated dose of nutrients. Daily Sprays blend the best of technology and nutrition to equip your business with a simple yet potent line of effective supplements. And finally, Akashics is the ultimate cryptocurrency learning tool with comprehensive lessons for every level of expertise. It is an all-in-one solution that includes digibank, in-depth market research, economic calendars, signals, and social trading. Discover all of the exciting products and business opportunities available to you with My Daily Choice and become an affiliate today.
Cynthia and I use all of those products. We find them to be incredibly profound in our life. If you use those products, I know a lot of you do, please use them through us and help us spread this message of unindoctrination. And if you're looking for a way to build your own dream instead of somebody else's, there's a great opportunity there as well for you to leverage that. So go to whistleblowercbd.com and find out information today, and we appreciate you taking the time to do that. We've got about 45 minutes left in the program. We've got callers, it looks like, waiting on hold. I don't know how to get them to come out once they go away, but it'll come right back up, and I'll get right on the phone with you. Stephen S. says he's got to try the hemp stuff. It's amazing, amazing stuff. And yeah, that thing popped up in the middle of the ad, but it's, yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Marcos gives us a thumbs up. I'm glad to hear that. Interesting stuff. You know, of course, Tracy said that should be a whole show, the confessional. And of course, that's a Jesuit creation. So very, very interesting stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very powerful stuff here tonight. And I was on the Power Hour radio show today. We recorded it today. And we were on there talking about the election for the most part. And some of the most profound discussions can be even more profound when you have people of a like mind or even of different minds discussing things. And I encourage you to go to the Power Hour. It's a great show, and check it out, and you'll appreciate what they have. God source is the mainframe we're all connected to, says Tracy Dyer. I would agree with that. AK Girl says she met God in a dream in the form of her dad, and asked why, and God said, because if I revealed my true essence, you would cease to exist, basically explode. Trippy. I don't know if you ate pizza too close to bedtime, or if that's real, or if it's just real to you. Doesn't really speak to me. I don't know, but yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Cynthia's going to bed. Good night, sweetheart. We'll see you in the morning. Mr. A had a dream of a tulpa. It was disgusting and hideous. Wow. Wow. When they started talking about sacrificing animals in the Bible study, I said, I'm out. Good for you, Caitlin. And the next thing they were going to talk about was sacrificing people, because they did that too, ladies and gentlemen. And I know the lore is, and I know the talk is that it's just a few bad priests. It's just a few bad preachers that do this stuff. Folks, I've proven to you on this channel, and I'll probably have to do it again, but abuse and sacrifice, and I'm trying to choose my words carefully, abuse and sacrifice are not an aberration. They're a sacrament. They're part of the religion all the way back to the beginning. I have proven to you on this channel, it's in my videos. You can look it up, search Cain and Abel. The story of Cain and Abel. Do you know why Cain slew Abel? Cain slew Abel because Abel was sacrificing children. It's there. It's in the text. And the text doesn't care what you think. If you're listening to us on our great shortwave partner, please let me know that you're listening on shortwave. It helps me make decisions on how to best allocate the resources that this great audience helps us to get. So please let me know if you're listening on shortwave. We appreciate it. We think it's a really good outlet, but we'll see. And here is the breaking news. The Georgia governor is calling for a signature audit after the leaked closed circuit television video that we showed you. Whoa, Governor Brian Kemp calls for a signature audit after that leaked video that we showed you. Wow, we're ahead of it and don't even know we're ahead of it. That's when you know you're good. Thank you for holding. It's Late Night in the Heartland, and you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff, I'm back.
What's up, man?
Okay, 2 questions for the rods, and I'm done.
Okay.
Okay. D.B. Cooper, did he survive the jump?
Did D.B. Cooper survive the jump? The rods say yes, enthusiastically he did.
I knew it. Okay. Other one, is Sasquatch real?
Ooh. Is Sasquatch real? The rods enthusiastic, yes. I agree with both of those, by the way.
Okay. All right. I think I'm going to call it a night myself.
All right, man. Thanks and take care. Appreciate the calls. And here's great questions. You know, there's people, I'm on my Twitter, and will the signature audit have a Democrat and a Republican watching over? Will it have total transparency? Because if it doesn't, it is not worth even talking about. So that's one of the great things about Twitter is you do get a lot of high-minded people there, a lot of thinkers. You get a lot of knuckleheads too. Oh, here was the tweet from Caliman 5D. It was actually a tweet to President Trump. It'd be a good idea to implement the Electoral College system at the state level in such a way that a city or county can't decide the election for the whole state. I think that's a brilliant idea, as we've already talked about. And let's go back to the phone lines. It's Late Night in the Heartland, and you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hi, Jeffrey. This is Svetlana.
Hi, Svetlana. How are you tonight?
Good.
Good. What's on your mind?
I haven't been watching your show, but I do have some input about watchers, or not mostly like a watchers, like more like angels who come in the end of time. It's actually a real thing. And it's people who usually don't know who they are because they've been put in the bodies and they only having first lifetime here. There is a book is actually written by Dolores Cannon, the hypnotherapists who've been doing hypnosis, really deep hypnosis. There is people hypnotized and they remember their past lives. And there is
Svetlana, let me stop you for a second there. This is one of the reasons why I'm very skeptical on the subject that you're talking about. Because I was at one time, there was somebody that I used to do shows with and was talking this up, said, you got to read this. I said, okay, I'll read it. And so I read one of Dolores Cannon's books where she was doing this regression with people, and they went back to their old life, and they were talking about being an Essene or a Gnostic, one of the two. I think it was an Essene. That's kind of redundant probably, but they were showing this great life and talking about their life, and Dolores Cannon was saying how profound it was. And there's only one problem. Dolores Cannon regressed this person, and this person said that they must have been 13 years old because they've already had their bar mitzvah, bar mitzvah didn't even happen until the late, way after them. So if you're full of crap on one thing, in my book, you got to prove you're not full of crap on everything. So you lose me at Dolores Cannon. I just felt compelled to make sure that we make that straight.
All of your cases probably not completely accurate, but there is people who actually do not have past lives. That's what I'm talking about.
Interesting.
People who just came to this place and they do not have past lives. The past lives can be anything. Some people remember themselves being animals and stuff like that. It's absolutely crazy because this whole world is like a dream world, and who knows what kind of dream you have. A lot of people have a memory of being on Mars and stuff like that. So that is like completely crazy stuff, like when people get hypnotized. But there is distinctly one group of people, and it's not a big group of people, who does not have past lives here or in this universe. That it's including not anywhere on our stars or in our planet.
Well, I mean, it's very interesting, but I'm a guy that you got to prove it to me, and I don't see enough proof.
Have you had regression hypnosis yourself, Jeffrey?
No, I haven't. And do you want to know why? No, you want to know why? Because I will never allow myself to be hypnotized for this reason. When you hypnotize yourself, your analytical mind is reduced. Your control of your analytical mind is reduced, or you can't be hypnotized. And the time that you get Ingrams is when your analytical mind is reduced. And I am a Ericksonian, a certified Ericksonian hypnotist. And I do not recommend anybody get hypnotized because it lowers your analytical mind and subjects you to Ingrams, and I will not do it.
But another thing is happening. The analytical mind is pretty much, it's your conscious, and your conscious is probably like less than 1% of a whole spiritual being who you are.
Well, I would disagree with that, but I respect your opinion.
Your subconscious is actually protecting you. I had regression hypnosis myself, and my hypnotherapist was trying to get me in the traps like you were describing exactly. But your subconscious is actually in that moment kicking, and it's protecting you completely. So
I can't agree with that. I mean, I respect your opinion, but I don't agree with that.
Well, I did hypnosis, and I actually got a lot of information on such a deep level from that.
I understand, and I understand that you feel very strongly about that. Have a great you should have a show, and you should talk about that stuff. Tracy Dyer said BS, and I would agree with her at that point. And, Svetlana has a lot of great stuff, and we have a lot of great conversations. And just because I won't go down that path with her doesn't mean that I think she's stupid. I think she's wrong. I think she's incorrect about those issues. And I have to remember that there's, thousands of people watching this, and I don't want them to be unduly influenced. I want them to be unindoctrinated, not indoctrinated. So I'm pretty tight on messaging that I think has the potential of being indoctrinating to people, no matter how nice and sweet and smart a person it comes from. Thank you for holding your live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Jeffrey, it's me again.
Okay.
I didn't tell you the whole story. After hypnosis, I actually did ayahuasca experience, and it's actually completely confirmed what the information I got from the hypnosis. So it all depends on the hypnotherapist and on the person and on the spirit and how prepared you are for this kind of things.
Okay.
Because I got exact same story, exact same experience on ayahuasca.
Right. That's just too many variables for me. And ayahuasca is the same thing. I'm not going to willingly reduce my analytical mind. I'm just not gonna do it. There's too many variables, and there's too much potential for harm, in my opinion, for me.
There is. If you're not prepared, absolutely.
I appreciate you calling in, Svetlana. Let's leave it there for tonight. I don't buy the if you're spiritual enough to reduce your analytical mind, you're going to be okay. And I don't buy that the subconscious fairy is going to protect me. Plants do have spirits, and you are turning yourself over to possession by that spirit. And I'm just not willing to turn myself over to possession. I know there's a lot of great people, a lot of smart people, probably people smarter than me that love the plant medicines and stuff. I'm not going to do it. I've been doing this for 40 years. 40 years of experience across the spiritual spectrum. If somebody that has at least 40 years of experience across the spiritual spectrum wants to talk to me about it, I'll listen. But I'm not going to listen to somebody that became spiritual 2 weeks ago. And I'm not saying that's Svetlana, but some of these plant people. I just am not going to give up control of my analytical mind because I see the good, the little bit of good that is potentially done by giving up your analytical mind does not justify, in my opinion, giving up your analytical mind to entities and individuals that you don't know you can trust. Dude, I thought I could trust people with my life, and they stabbed me in the back. I'm just not going to do it. If you want to do it, that's your business. My business is getting you to think objectively and getting you to think about things in a rational, real manner. What is David saying here? What is David saying? Even if someone means well, I would still have to submit to their hypnotism. Their well-being ain't my well-being, right? I'm not sure what you mean, but I think I agree with you. And somebody's talking about moderation. How do you moderately reduce your analytical mind? How do you moderately reduce your analytical mind? Somebody says, LOL, what about CBD? Well, that earns you a user in timeout. Number one, because you're a bitch. Number two, because you're a coward. Those are the things you call up and say directly to my face, but you don't have the balls to do it. And number three, dumbass, CBD is not intoxicating. It doesn't lower your analytical mind, you stupid piece of shit. Maybe I need to wear the violet glasses a little bit longer. But I think some of you like that every now and then. But when a person acts like a bitch, I think you need to treat them like a bitch. The problem with the internet is that these stupid bitches can talk shit without the fear of getting punched in the face. Wow. Anyway, and you know what, Wendy? You can kiss my ass too. How about that? Here's Jeff getting rid of subscribers as fast as he possibly can. Look, I am not here to pet your feelings. I'm here to bring you some truth. And if you don't like it, there's a lot of other things you'd be doing at 11:33 at night. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? You know what? I try to be nice. I really do. But you know what? It might be time to call the herd, ladies and gentlemen. It might be time to call the herd. That was one of Mike Tyson's better quotes. It was so true. The Terminator glasses were actually Ray-Ban Wayfarers, but I get the point. I get the point. Steffers, these things are great. I'm sold on them. And it is passion, Marker. Thank you for seeing that. And, you know, this is my show. Don't come talking shit to me, or at least if you're going to do it, pick up the phone and do it. Don't be a bitch and you won't get treated like a bitch. Be polite and you'll be treated politely. If you poke the bear, even though the bear is trying to make himself better, bear is still going to be a bear. Bear is still going to be a bear. Joel, interesting point. If a plant is cut and dead, does it still have a spirit? Does it? That's a really good point. If you cut let's talk about marijuana. You cut it, you dry it, you smoke it. Is there still a spirit in that plant, even though it's dead and cut and dried? Ooh, that's an interesting question. A very interesting question. No, Caitlin, I would not wear these violet glasses for night driving because they're dark. You would crash. Don't wear the violet glasses for night driving. You're supposed to wear, this particular one for 2 hours a day. I'm like, you know what? It would be really cool for me to wear them during the show because that gets 2 hours taken care of, and I don't even know. Oh, let's ask the rods. You'll get no sympathy from Jeffrey, says Matthew Garvin. I've said it's found between shit and syphilis. Sympathy is found in the dictionary between shit and syphilis. That is so funny, ladies and gentlemen. Terry says she still thinks they are because they make you hallucinate, but maybe that's just because it's a hallucinogen. I'm sorry, Svetlana, and I know you really think this and you really believe this. Svetlana really believes that she didn't give up her analytical mind during hypnosis or ayahuasca. Sweetheart, you did. It is impossible for you to take ayahuasca. It is impossible for you to be hypnotized without, and I didn't say give up, I said reducing your analytical mind. Your analytical mind doesn't have to be shut off for you to get Ingrams. It just has to be reduced. And you cannot do ayahuasca without having your analytical mind reduced, period. Doesn't matter what you think. Doesn't matter what you feel. Facts is facts. And you cannot be hypnotized. I'm a licensed Ericksonian hypnotist. Are you? It's impossible for you to be hypnotized unless you lower your analytical mind. At least some of the way. It's like you can't have sex with your pants on. You got to at least pull them down. You might not take them off, but you ain't having no sex unless you pull your pants down. And don't talk to me about the zipper. I'm making an analogy here. If you have had sex, you have pulled your pants down. If you've been on ayahuasca, you pulled your pants down. If you've been hypnotized, you've pulled your pants down. And that is just the truth. And I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to bring objective information. And you can take it or you can leave it. But I'm not changing, ladies and gentlemen. Tracy says the personality of the plant might linger after death, like human personalities do. Ooh, that's really good. That's really good. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hi, Jeffrey. This is Wendy, your hypnotist.
Hi, Wendy. I think I just told you could kiss my ass, didn't I?
Yeah, something like that. But I already did your soul chart, so I know when you're coming from ego versus when you're coming from your soul.
And I am that. And you are absolutely right. That is coming from ego. And it's something that I'm working on. That's part of what these violet glasses are for specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I have so much hope for you.
Oh, thank you. And you really are a wonderful person. And I have deep respect for you. I don't agree with you 100%, but hell, I don't agree with Cynthia 100%. Thank you for calling. And what's on your mind?
I have to say that you
same with you, Svetlana.
You were right when you were talking that these plans and then forms of different hypnosis, you do lower your critical factor. That's the word we use. But certain things you can tell by the depth level of a person. And the only way you know that is by testing. Or if you've been a hypnotist a long time, if somebody's following along, then you know that they're in the zone. Now, I am about like 200 pages now into the Dianetics book that really trashes hypnosis, which the method that is used in Dianetics, it's kind of like a quick induction. It's a lower level. It's a lower level on the scale. But a person is still, it's semantics, what kind of words.
I disagree with you, Wendy. Knowing hypnosis and knowing Dianetics, it goes out of its way to make sure that you are not hypnotizing people, because frankly, we don't, as a Dianetic practitioner, a white Dianetic practitioner, we don't want the responsibility of inadvertently putting engrams into people.
Right. I understand that. And that's very good, very laudable to say. But even as like a minister, when we're up there preaching, you knew that you put people in trance, and they were more likely, because you're the one up there.
And I'm also a master practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, so I know all about that.
Right. So, and you know that advertisers like,
and all these things are not pro-survival, Wendy. These things are contra-survival. That's why we don't do them in the practice of white Dianetics.
But it's semantics. He wrote that book.
It's not semantics, Wendy. It's realities. In fact, Tracy brings up a good point that I didn't even address. Even if you have the best of intentions, Wendy, the best of intentions, you can't control all the background noises that could potentially take place in your environment.
Well, that's what happens when people have surgery, when they said, oh, we're going to be able to.
And that's how they get engrams.
He's always going to walk. He's always going to walk with a limp. The subconscious mind hears that.
Exactly. And it's an engram.
Right.
So, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Right. I think it probably comes with some confirmation bias on your part, and that's fine. But I don't agree with you that it's semantics. I think it is very, very, it's a very, very strong principle. What I mean by that.
Okay. Because Ron L. Hubbard, he wrote that in his book in 1950. And so we're talking about what the National Guild of Hypnotists teach people in 2020 or 2010.
Okay, that's a fair point.
So, excuse me?
So that's a fair point.
Right. And so things have changed, or the language have changed, or how people work with people is not like the Svengali, I forget his name. The way the things
yes, Svengali.
Something. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Way of working with people. That's just my point. So there's different depth levels. You can do different things in different depth levels. And that I see, I'm only 200 pages into the Dianetics book, but I see how there's so much similarity, and Ron is putting down hypnosis, and the hypnosis of 2020 is different than 1950 when he wrote that book, is all I'm trying to say.
That's an interesting point, and it's worthy of consideration, and I will consider it.
Good night.
Good night, Wendy. Thanks for calling in, and thanks for being a good sport. Even if it was backhanded compliments, I mean, she's at least hanging in there, and I have respect for people that do that. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, what's up, Jeff? This is Mason.
Hey, Mason, what's on your mind tonight?
Oh, nothing. I just wanted to call about that question. That was a genuine question about the CBD. I've been subscribed to you for about over 2 years now.
Excellent. Thank you.
I haven't recently been watching you as often. But yeah, no, that laugh out loud was towards the chaos in the chat. But that question was genuine because I have experience, or actually used CBD, the oil, digested, and I've experienced with marijuana, shrooms, and acid, and so that's why I was just I appreciate your opinion, and I was genuinely curious about the CBD.
Well,
I just wanted to call and tell you that.
I appreciate you doing that, and I did interpret it as being rude and trying to troll the chat room because of the LOL. But and I know you know this, or it's something that's easily knowable. But if you hadn't had a lot of experience, I get it. CBD by nature, it has only trace amounts of THC in it, very, very minute amounts. And sometimes they'll say, the product that I happen to sell has 2 levels. It has straight, pure CBD that does have a little trace of THC in it, enough where they say, don't use this one if you're subject to drug testing, because you can test positive for THC, but not enough to make you high at all. And then they have another product that is completely THC free. But there's something about the THC in CBD. There has to be a little bit of it there in order to activate all of the efficacious benefits of CBD. But there is some THC, but not enough to make you anywhere close to high. And that's why, that's the truth. And I appreciate your calling in, and I apologize for losing my cool with you. I apologize for coming back at you so hard. I interpreted it as a troll, and I'm like Donald Trump. When someone smacks you, you smack them back twice as hard. But I apologize to you because it was a misunderstanding.
Oh no, it's okay. I understand. That's that comes with the technology. You can't really see people's true emotions. And
you
stuff.
can't, and that's why I've got the violet glasses and other things. I'm trying to get to the point where I don't react that way, because it's not conducive. I mean, I shouldn't react that way to people. I'm working on it. I shouldn't react that way. I'm never going to lose all my passion, but there's no reason to react that way, and I'm working on it, and you have my apology.
Yes, sir. I accept your apology, and I just want to say I'm sorry for getting you riled up, even though that wasn't my intention.
And let me just say this, too. This is very, very important, and this is something I want everybody to hear. You did not get me riled up. It's impossible for you to get me riled up. I responded and made my choice to get riled up in response to a stimulus that I misinterpreted from you. Where I need to get, and you're helping me get there, I need to get to where I see that and I think, oh, that's funny. They're probably talking about something else, and where I don't allow you, something you do, to make me decide to lose my temper. So thank you for helping me. It's a lesson that I've learned, and you won't ever make me do anything. I do it in response to you, and thank you for helping me learn.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Appreciate your apologies, and that's why I wanted to call to clear things up, because, hey, I ain't no bitch.
Yeah, you're not a bitch, that's for sure. And when 5 seconds after I said that, I had forgotten, and I'm not the guy that remembers who said it, so I never would have known it was you. So don't worry about that at all. But again, I thank you so much for that. And this show is about learning. This show is about learning. And guess what? The host of the show is learning too. And I need to get to that place where I don't respond to stimuli in that fashion. And I'm making great strides. If you remember how I used to be on this show, it used to be a lot worse. It used to be a lot worse. I'm getting better, but I need to get better faster. I've got to stop doing that. Got to stop doing that. And I am stopping doing that. I'm working on it because I want to be a better person. I don't want to allow somebody's, even if it is somebody's stupidity, I don't want to allow somebody's stupidity to make me act stupid. And Cynthia and I talk about this, and she talks about it to me. And, thank you, Mason. I've looked at the numbers, and I have literally had as many people unsubscribe from this channel as we've had subscribe to this channel. So if I had been a little less of an asshole, we would have over 100,000 subscribers, and we would have our message would be reaching more people. So I'm not doing it just because I want to kumbaya with all of you. I'm doing it because it'll make me a better person, and it will make our message more effective, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a fine line, because Tracy says, but if you become all kumbaya, I won't be as effective as I am right now. And I understand that. But it's got to, and I think, Tracy, what I would say to you is, I've got to learn to be strategic with it and let it be my choice. Pick out one of these things when I know we need a little boost in the show, and go off on that. I need to be more strategic with it. Thank you, Tracy. That's a great encouragement. It's late night in the Heartland. Therapy for Jeff night. You're live. Go on.
Hi, perfect timing, because just what I wanted to talk to you about. Jeff, this is Holly from Minnesota.
Hi, Holly.
Hi, good to see you tonight. Every night, I will admit I love this every night format.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome, and I'm not picking on you at all. I know a gentleman commented how it's kind of entertaining, how you may not attack, but you know how you will go up against people and let them know it's your show and that you have every right.
Right.
You know? I understand it, but you know there are times when I would like to reach through and choke you out.
I'm right here. Come on, baby.
Okay.
I'm kidding with you.
And the reason I'm going to just say it is because I think a lot of times you're argumentative with people, and I think a lot of times subjects or topics that you're not very familiar with, or you're not delving into as of yet to be familiar enough to argue the point.
You know
what I mean?
that I'll challenge you on, because I'm not going to open my big fat mouth and come hard against somebody when I don't have receipts. Everything you hear me go off on, I got the receipts. Now, that still doesn't mean I need to be an asshole about it, but I do not open up my mouth and go hard unless I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, so maybe you seem, I don't know, sensitive to certain topics, maybe.
I am. And you know why I'm so sensitive, and I'm glad you brought this up, is because people don't understand this, and most people aren't on YouTube for the reason I'm on YouTube. I literally am trying to save the whole freaking world. And what I put out, and you know, maybe it's from being 20 years of a preacher spreading a bunch of bullshit, and every night waking up thinking, oh my God, I hope that nobody did anything stupid over something stupid I said. And what I can't allow to have happen is anything said on this channel to lead to indoctrination or to lead to engrams for other people. So when you hear me come hard against something, it's when I'm trying to prevent any potential malfeasance on the part of any potential person in this audience.
Okay, even if it might be a brutally ugly truth, maybe.
Like what?
I mean,
like, give me an example. And this is a great discussion.
Well, it's going to be, what I bring up will be something that I know you don't agree with.
Well, that's all right. And I promise that I'm going to be calm and cool. I got my violet glasses. Tell me.
Well, I'm a couple thousand miles away. I'm not worried.
Oh, I know.
But,
and I would never, ever hit a woman unless there's a whole gang of you beating me with chains, and I might fight back.
There you go. And I'll agree with you. I'm a woman, and I understand.
And I had my best friend since we were 11 years old, and we're going to make this the last call. My best friend, when I was 11 years old, his dad was out. His motorcycle broke down. So he walked to this bar and he went in. He was going to use the phone. They were bringing the phone, and he had an attractive lady next to him. He said, "Hey, honey, how are you?" He didn't know it. He had walked into a lesbian bar, and that lesbian's girlfriend heard him say that. And about 25 of these lesbians drug him out, chained him to a tree, and beat him to the edge of his life. So that's the only reason I say. And he said, I could have got away, but I didn't want to hit a woman. So if 25 women try to chain me to a tree and beat me to death, I'm fighting like a mofo.
Wow. I don't blame him. Now, that would be traumatic. Is probably running into like a dog man or something on your walk.
It probably would. And, you know, since it was a lesbian bar, some of the ladies might have looked like a dog man. Okay, anyway.
And that's something, once we figure out what the hell we're living in and how it all comes together, I hope to God I'm there. I'm there this far. I'm going to make it. But okay, I'm going to bring up the one.
Please do.
Did you bring up the dumb?
And we got 7 minutes, so fit it into 7 minutes. Cloning. Yeah, you know what? I could go down the clone path. I really could, because it's cool. It's interesting. It's exciting. It's sexy. But why the hell didn't they take care of Ruth Bader Ginsburg? It just makes me wonder. And there's just so much. Everybody believes in cloning, and when everybody believes in it, I'm like, oh, hold on a second. I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm saying I haven't seen enough proof yet.
Well, I guess I've delved enough where apparently it's been going on with people for far longer than
That is a great point. And Cynthia would agree with you. She probably thinks that there are clones.
Well, and if you go with, say, the example, I've heard our President Trump, as much as we love him and many don't feel that way, apparently he has been assassinated 7 or 8 times, and it has been his clone has taken the hit. So
now, see, that is sexy and that's fun, but we don't have any proof of that.
We have no proof, really, when you think about it, of really anything that anybody says.
You're right.
You know what I'm talking about?
You're right.
You don't. It's going to resonate. But the cloning in the deep underground military, bases, that's a big top. There's so many of them, and they're very dark.
And I would agree with that there are dumbs and that there are very dark activities taking place in the dumbs. But I mean, if you clone President Trump, does he come out 74 years old, or does he come out as a baby?
Well, apparently it only takes a couple of days or whatever, depending on, I guess it depends on the situation.
It sounds like a movie, a cool movie, but damn.
Well, like someone asked about the Mike Pence, if he was what was it? What was the word? Like a replicate or some type of a synthetic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, if you do look at pictures of him even 10 years ago, and you look at him now today, you're like, what? There's no way. It's like Biden.
But 64 to 74, those are tough years for a man. So I get your point, but Biden, here I am talking in circles, but Biden, the Biden of 2012 is not the Biden of today. It's not the same dude.
Oh God, I've seen him in the 80s and stuff where you're like, you know that he's not. There's just something dead or wrong about him today.
It's not the same guy. And Candace makes a great point. Candace believes in doubles more than clones, and I would agree with that too. And I'm not saying there's not clones, but I'm saying I haven't seen enough proof to accept there being clones. But I mean, look at this. It's been 10 minutes. People are really interested. It's a great subject to talk about.
Well, it is. And a lot of it, there's so much mystery going on under our feet. Like I've learned some of these deep underground bases are, some of the lowest down ones are over 800 miles below the surface. And those are not even visited ever by humans or people, as we call them. It's all whatever demonic, whatever darkness, you say there's no such thing as, the demons and all that. And it's very confusing. It's a lot to take in. But
what I really say is that most people will never deal with a demon. I'm not sure there even are demons, but they get way too much press. We got about 1 more minute and we have to wrap it up.
Okay, but yeah, there's a certain fascination there, and I'll be the first to admit, we all have our thing, and I will admit, I gotta ask you one more question.
Okay.
Do you believe in I know Sasquatch, you sound like you're good with that. How about the dogman or the werewolves or the cryptid, the same type of,
Well, I go 2 ways on that. Number one, there's so many stories for so long that there probably is a kernel of truth in it. But I wonder if the kernel of truth is, remember what werewolves and vampires were doing back in the day? They were snatching kids. They were snatching young women. Is that a story made up to cover for pedophilia and murder? Or is there a nugget of truth in it? Or are there both? Because I have talked to a vampire. I know vampires are real. I could imagine that werewolves are real, but I could also imagine that they've been used to cover dark deeds. And if you are a werewolf, and I'm serious as a shark attack, if you're a werewolf, and if you're a vampire, especially if you're the vampire that has been in contact with me and has given me very interesting advice and intel, and I've closed the phone lines, please contact me. I would love to have you on this channel. If you have some credibility, and if you act like you're not a crazy person or just some nutcase, I would love to talk to a werewolf. I would love to talk to a vampire. And we don't usually do guests on this show, but we'll have you as a guest on this show. Give me a howl. give me, you know, just as long as you don't suck my blood, please. Werewolves, vampires, call me up. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. It's late night in the heartland. Thank you for making my day. I really appreciate all of you. Everyone we got mad at, everyone we didn't get mad at, it's all good because I've forgotten it already, and I don't even know who I got in an argument with. Much love, much peace, much respect. And we'll see you again tomorrow night. Same time, same channel, baby. If you're on the shortwave, let me know.
Mm-hmm.